This skill I think every man should be able to like harness and use into their own lives. And it's something we haven't been taught in school nor by your parents. It's psychology. I'm not talking about the psychology that's been taught to us in school, or probably taught to us in school. Maybe you haven't, picked psychology. But if you have, and if you're studying psychology, maybe yeah, there's some things you would probably know that's gonna come useful to you in life because psychology in itself is useful. I'm gonna get to that in a little bit, but I'm just gonna say that everything you've been taught to you in school is a bunch of liberal, feministic, agenda-filled narrative that's not meant to actually empower you, but more or less to convey a message and to like dumb you down into a more worker ant mindset. That's why the Rothschild or Rockefeller, I forgot which one of these motherfuckers, they gave a lot of money to fund the education system. So yeah, so that's pretty much, gonna tell you everything you need to know about the education system. They don't want a nation of thinkers, they want a nation of workers. So yeah, don't learn anything from school because they don't teach you anything. The real psychology is found in learning outside of these traditional systems. You're gonna have to buy books. This book, The Concise of Human Nature by author Robert Greene, the guy who created the 48 Laws of Power. You probably heard about that. Holy shit, this book is insane. And the story of how I even got this book is even more insane because I actually went to the bookstore, right? I went with my father. I didn't even fucking know this book existed, bro. I didn't even read 48 Laws of Power. I still haven't, by the way. I just went there to buy another book. I think I bought, I went to the bookstore and bought this book. Another book on psychology, how to win friends and influence people. A popular book, and it also delves into psychology. Now, however, the concise laws of human nature is not that popular. At least I haven't heard of it that much. You probably haven't heard of it at all. I mean, the author is famous, but this book, I fucking hell, bro, I didn't even hear nothing about it. So I wasn't gonna buy this book. My father actually seen this book just by the title, right? The Concise of Human Nature. He believed it to be important, right? He told me that I should get this book. Like he literally showed me this book because it delves into human nature, and he just like out of his gut feeling or out of his like brains, he just said, yeah, this has to be some important topic for my son to learn about. And I was quite like, reluctant. I'm like, am I really gonna buy this book? I mean, I was thinking about buying more popular books you probably heard about, fucking Atomic Habits or something. Can't hurt me, David Goggins. I mean, I'm talking about some laws of human nature. I'm like, really? Plus, the guy's a fucking Jew. Little did I know this book was probably gonna be the most revolutionary book I've ever read in my life. All right? God damn, bro. Listen, the reason I'm even making this video is because I was so flabbergasted and I became another man after I read this book. These two books, precisely. The main thing I've got from these books, especially this one, right? How to Win Friends and Influence People, is that I should never... You know the story, right? You know the corny line, the wolf in sheep's clothing. A bunch of guys use this saying, but it's true. Not in this corny way of like making a TikTok or putting it in a story about this fucking animation where the wolf is taking a mask. You're acting like you're this tough guy, hanging in the right ride. A bunch of this fucking Indian kind of corny cringe nonsense. Oh, I'm the wolf in the ship. Do not know me. I'm a fucking Joker 2019. Okay, this is bullshit. This is corny. I'm talking about actually. I'm talking about actually acting dumb, alright? To fit in with most people. I'm talking about belittling yourself, like reducing your power level in front of others to make them feel more than what you are. Let's say it's like a fucking video game. Let's say you are so much smarter than someone else and you're actually talking to some actual retarded dumbass, right? You're gonna want, maybe it can be your boss, right? The retarded dumbass can be your boss, can be your teacher. To win in social situations, especially in the modern life we live, sometimes we have to like dumb ourselves down, right? Make ourselves seem less than what we really are, and not point out the mistakes of people, even general strangers outside. Like, one thing I've gotten from these books is literally just stop arguing with people. I used to argue so much with parents, teachers, friends. Then I stopped arguing after I read these fucking books because there's literally a chapter in this book dedicated to how the author wasted his time learning how to argue because it's useless. And after I read these books, I realized, oh yeah, bro, arguing is actually useless. What do we get out of arguing? Nothing, right? It just makes other people feel bad because either you prove them wrong or either you are proven wrong. I mean, whether you are proven wrong or you are proven right, in any situation, no one will accept that they are actually wrong. Right? No one's civil enough to even have a normal like Roman Greek discussion, democratic discussion nowadays. No one will accept that they are wrong. And I'm telling you this, I'm not even like an exception of it. Like, even for me, my ego will get in my way, and I find it difficult for me to acknowledge that I'm wrong in some topic if you're like actively arguing with one another. I mean, even if you would think of yourself in such situations, but at times when you would argue, at times when you will have to argue, most of the time you won't actually admit that you were wrong, all right? If you're just being honest, right? You would try to bullshit your way into being right, or maybe you're even right and the other person won't agree that you're wrong. Arguing is useless. It doesn't make people like you. It makes people resent you. And you get nothing from it. What are you going to do? Prove someone wrong? Or you get proven wrong? But whatever the case, right? The guy's just going to end up liking you less after arguing. So I stopped arguing. That means the book is called How to Win Friends and Influence People. You have to act dumber than people, guys. You have to like reduce your power level, like I said before. And act like you're just another fucking normie amongst people. Stop trying to prove people anything. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna prove someone wrong? Like, there's no reason to prove anyone wrong. I mean, the reason you're even trying to prove someone wrong is probably because they have some sort of control over you, or some sort of insecurity over you is showing up. Like, stop letting external factors, stop letting like, people outside your life affect you, or affect you enough to like try and prove them wrong. It doesn't matter, guys. But that's why I'm telling you that this skill of psychology is so important. Because not only will you start to adapt to most normies in our everyday life, you will also learn how to like read them and literally like predict the next move, like a chessboard. Guys, the laws of human nature delves into narcissism, delves into, psychological traits, not only in others, but in yourself. And when you know about these psychological traits, you start seeing people just like a fucking book, just like a fucking chess piece, just like the fucking pawn, right? In the board. And you just start anticipating what they're gonna do next. It's actually fucking insane. It's like you're a psychic, but you want a psychic. It's completely normal, science-like backed subjects. Like, I'm telling you guys, school does not teach you this shit. No one will teach you this shit. Read this book. Read this book, my friend. You will honestly, like, you would be shocked. I'm telling you guys. Listen, I'm telling you guys, learn about psychology from books that are actually, like, pretty relevant in our times. Like, fucking, from books that are, aren't traditional. A Jew made this. Jews are smart. Okay? If you want to think like a Mossad agent, read something created by Mossad. He's not a Mossad agent, by the way. Honestly, guys, having the power to read people, interpret someone's frustration, interpret how someone's, acting emotionally, or interpret your own faults and frugalities. Holy shit, my fucking nerves is like cracking open. Fucking, I'm like a fucking Resident Evil boss or something. I don't know. Fucking Senator Armstrong over here. I don't know why my veins popping out. I'm so fucking frustrated. You gotta understand my emotions talking to you, right? Listen, get these books, understand your own flaws, understand your psychological tics. Understand the reason you act the way you do, understand why people act the way they do. This will not only make you a more calm person, it will make people like you more, because you start to not act, in this sort of smart ass way. You start acting like, you start not, having much of an ego. Listen, something you wouldn't expect, these books are there in like the clickbaity way I'm going to tell you, like, to manipulate people. But in all honesty, you aren't manipulating people, alright? What you are actually doing is having more empathy to people. Bro, that's the unattractive answer to these books, unattractive like outline I can get to these books. These books are wholesome, guys. It doesn't teach you to be this, kind of dark, manipulative. The kind of archetype you picture in your mind, like the fucking villain who manipulates everyone around him. No, it's not the point of this book. Like, to even have these type of manipulation tactics, you can't even be the fucking villain type, all right? You can't be this fucking corny ass I'm a dog manipulator type of Indian, right? The fucking cringe, cringe shit you're gonna post on your story. No, it's actually to have more empathy towards people, to understand how someone else feels, to put yourself into the perspective of other guys. That is how you understand psychology, and that is how you make friends. That is how you influence people. To understand what someone else's perspective is, to like actually have proper discussions, and to actually understand how other people feel and think, and to understand that their mishaps, their flaws, like where these roots or like where their flaws or like mishaps come from. It's gonna develop a whole nother sense in you. You're gonna be more calm, like a stoic leader, right? Understanding the flaws and the frugality of humanity. Really interesting. People are, you're gonna act dumber in situations where otherwise you would act like a smartass, or otherwise you would try to prove a point. You start, hiding your true power level. You know why? Because you understand the frugality of ego. You understand the frugality of men's emotions, and you understand that our brains act in a very childish, dumb, and repetitive pattern. What we do now will be repeated, a couple of months later, a day later, again and again. Like, our brains work in a very, very weird way. What we do, we will repeat. So that's how you're gonna know to trust people. So that's how you're gonna know whether to trust people in relationships, trust your friends, or anything. So that's how you're literally going to understand So that's literally how you're gonna understand and interpret who to trust, relationship wise, peers wise, anything else. I'm not even going into everything these books tell you, because these are very topic filled books which you need. Like, I'm literally reading this for the second time. I read this once and I had to read this again because it's so interesting. The concepts has been talked about in these books, and I haven't been heard like anywhere. Even YouTubers won't even talk about this. Like self-improvement YouTubers, Hamza, whoever the fuck else, like Andrew Tate, doesn't talk about things I've read about these books. And so you guys, you need to read these books. Learn about psychology. Have an interest in them. Maybe listen to Robert Greene. I don't listen. I don't agree with everything he says. He's quite a liberal, I would say. I don't agree with everything these authors say, but you don't have to agree with everything someone says. You have to just take what's important, what you deem as useful to you, and then use it in yourself. You don't have to agree totally with someone else. All right? But start your learning, like actually empower yourself, because no one have ever empowered you in your life. Knowledge is power, but they don't teach you real knowledge. So go and empower yourself. Learn how people act. Learn the ways of literally how society works. I study sociology in school. The reason I'm so reluctant into telling you that psychology is taught you in school, because I studied sociology thinking it would teach me something, right? About psychology, about how groups act, or the pressure we've seen about other groups, and how mass democracy fails, how we are all prone to the group pressure or the group feeling, where we literally start to change our mindsets according to our groups. It's all been talked about in this book, but not been talked about to me in school. Like, fuck school, bro. They don't teach you nothing. What I've been taught in school is literally just feminist propaganda, talking about how women are victimized. Okay, bro. Okay, Rothschild. Okay, bro. And they tell you the Matrix isn't real. Anyways, thank God Trump won. Less politically, none of this shit really matters. You know why? Because, in 4 years, what the fuck is a president gonna do? And even then, when it comes to presidency, they're gonna be compromised by the Jews. Like, Trump is fucking compromised. So whatever the fuck, but I'm getting way ahead of myself. Learn psychology, young man, because it will literally help you in your life. Trust me on this one. You would start to read people like books. You would know how to interpret social interactions. You would not, be more. You would not be. These books made me less of an egotistical maniac, even less of a narcissist. Without me even knowing it, I was more of a narcissist than I really even thought of myself to be, because I started listening to people more, and I stopped talking less. Right. I started making things less about me and more about other people. People like me more. People think they're smarter than me. People think they have more power, all right, in a social situation than me. That's what makes them like you. But in reality, they don't. And in reality, you pick the right battles, all right? That's about it, guys. That's psychology, because they really didn't teach us none of this shit in school. And this is really interesting, all right? So that's the trick I think every man should know. Literally, how to interpret other people in social situations, and how to pretty much hide your power level, hide your true strength, while you're grinding in the background, while you're strengthening yourself. That is how you literally are gonna win friends and influence people. Because guys are predictable. Men are predictable, guys. Like, so predictable. To literally read these books is like you're unlocking a secret power. You know how there's like fucking admin abuse, right, in these Roblox games, but you literally turn on God mode. But reading these books literally turn you into God mode. I'm telling you guys. Every like social situations you find yourself in, talking to your boss, talking to people higher than you in the social hierarchy, talking to women, it starts to become predictable. You start to anticipate attack. It's an art. Psychology is an art. The laws of human nature. My father was right, bro. This shit is so fucking important. Holy shit. I had to make a video about this. Read The Concise Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. Trust me, you'll thank me for it. And thank you for watching.